welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be showing you guys 13 of my favorite samples that my brand has created. Really this year, some of them have taken upwards of 16 months, others are in more recent of the last 6 months, but we have about 20-ish pieces currently in production, final sample stages, or in transit right now. If you guys are wondering where all the videos have been, my main focus has been on perfecting all of these, getting them ready for the big drops that we have planned for 2025. And I'm excited to share with you guys for the first time my top 13 samples from my brand this year. So we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna start on this bottom row, work our way up. This is kind of gonna be in backwards order of how this stuff's gonna release. So the stuff that you guys are gonna see at the end are gonna be the pieces that will drop first this year. We're gonna start off right here with this pair of canvas pants. This is actually not denim, made by our specialized denim manufacturer though. This pair was actually supposed to come in a garment dye, but they ended up sending it to us in the raw material, which I'm personally a huge fan of, not only lighter color bottoms, but more so white pants. Like if you guys watch my styling videos, you guys know I gravitate towards white pants, white shorts pretty often, especially around the spring and summertime. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. Although it wasn't intended to be a white pair of pants, I'm now, after seeing these, a little tempted to potentially run these in addition to other colorways in white colorway as well. So we're calling these our star double knee pant. So you have the big star detailing right around the knee. It also pleats up into the thigh, all the way up into the waistband, and all the way down into the bottom hem. Starting from the bottom to the top on these pants, we did a thicker hem finish at the bottom. This isn't really a traditional type of finish for a pant, but I think for this pair it fits it really well and just suits the character of the rest of this pant. Moving up again, you have that star detailing on the leg. It's gonna go and wrap around to the backside. Even from the side angle of this pant, I feel like it looks really sick because you can really see the star wrap around. And a lot of the challenges that we push ourselves for in this brand is integrating our star, our 4-pointed star, into patterns without doing too much with it. And it has been a challenge, but it's also just really fun to figure out how to integrate it into pieces that make it look natural and honestly just sick, which this pair of pants is pretty sick if you ask me. Moving to the backside, we also have that same star detailing in the pocket. We also added the same like lip that you guys see at the bottom hem on to the top of the pocket as well. So just little details that make such a big difference. And I could only imagine this in like an actual colorway that it was supposed to be. What really got us going with trying to decorate back pockets was our original Japanese canvas short, which we dropped. It's actually our first product we ever dropped for Common Studios. We made these all in LA on a 12-ounce Japanese canvas. And when we focused on the back pocket, we ended up doing this debossed, raised back pocket. And then from there, just really started to test and mess around with different ways to really elevate back pockets. This is a different sample from one of our other manufacturers that we did last year. We just did this chain stitch with the Commons. You guys have seen me style these in all my old summer styling videos from last year. And so we've really just continued to try and push ourselves with getting creative with the back pockets. And I thought this one ended up looking pretty crazy. So we'll see what other colors we end up doing. Let me know how you guys are feeling with the white. Definitely on body, these are way more appealing. The fit of these is ideal. It's perfect in my opinion. Everything on this wall probably would have taken a quarter of the time to do if we didn't put as much time and intention into fitment, but everything just gets sampled and sampled and sampled and resampled and resampled until everything is absolutely perfect. Last couple of details on this piece. Again, this pleat goes all the way up. It's gonna lead you up into these rivets at the pockets. It's a thicker rivet than we've used in the past. I actually like the shape of this one a little bit more, and they're a lot more prominent. They shine a little better, and I just think that they're very proper decorative pieces to really any garment, but especially with our denim. You got the star double knee pant. Really looking forward to continuing to mess around with samples and different versions of these. This pant, along with this pant over here, which we'll get into in a second, have been sampled at the same time. So these will probably be pants that you will see around wintertime, if not later fall. I will guarantee you though, if this is the first sample and they look, feel, and fit this good, by the time we do drop these and have resampled them a few more times, that pant will be literally perfect by the time you guys get to it. And as we're talking about samples, a sample comes in. Getting into our straight leg denim, This has been probably two of the pieces that we spent the most time on. If it's not, it's the close second to our star shorts, which are up here at the top, which we're gonna get to here in a second. Our straight leg denim has been a challenge in itself. I guess I can talk about these two pairs at the same time because these are just inverse colors of each other. But it'd be easier to start with the blue pair simply because I have all of the original other versions right here with it. So before we get into those, we'll kind of show you guys how the final product ended up, and then we'll work our way backwards. There's actually technically one more version, a TOP sample, our top of production sample, which is a sample that comes in right before you get your production, and that is not only how your final product's gonna look, but that's gonna come bagged, it's gonna come tagged, and essentially how your customer would receive a packaged product. But this, again, is the most updated sample that we have so far. Starting top to bottom, we have this open raw hem at the bottom, distressed already. We also added a plum decorative stitch to basically all of our denim on the inside seams. So if you're going to want to just roll them up slightly, you'll get that nice plum accent, which is going to match our plum back tab, which is also fully decorated. We have an embossing on it, as well as this 3-star hardware. So this is actual metal that's in the back tab. Just on certain details, even when it comes down to things like the leather tab that's going on the pant, took months to sample, develop, and perfect. Even so much to the point that we liked this so much that we ended up creating card holders, leather card holders in the plum colorway as well, just based off of how much we liked the back tab. So our manufacturer that did our back tabs is also helping us with our genuine leather card holders as well, which let me know if you guys are rocking with these. This is just a sample, but we're getting 2 other samples made right now. We're gonna do one sample that's double-sided, because this is obviously only one-sided, and we're gonna do another sample that is just like this, one-sided, but the back side is gonna have a silver star metal money clip on the back. So if you're someone that carries cash, you'll have a money clip option for cash. So we're gonna see which of those options we like more. But anyway, this idea can spur into other ideas, is really the main point of that. Subtle distressing on these as well. You're gonna see it on the back pockets. You're gonna see it on the top of the pockets, the waistband, front pockets as well. And that's just gonna help accent all of the open and raw distressing at the bottom. I personally am a huge fan of this open raw look, as you guys will see, and as I go through some of these other samples, we kind of got to that point, developed into that point of figuring out that we like this style a little bit better. On the front side, you have our double belt loop that's gonna hold and secure our D-ring, which is gonna be for keys, wallet chains, whatever you guys want to hang on them. The double belt loop though just adds the extra security. Another feature too is this metal back tab on the back little bar tab. We're actually going to change this from the back left pocket or the back right pocket to the other side, just to balance out the back a little bit and not make the right side so heavy, since it already has the leather tab on it. But I wanted to show you guys what it takes to get to a final product like that, because obviously it's not just a one and done shot. We've been sampling this denim for over the past year, and it took multiple different versions to get to the final product that we're currently at right now. And all of these are through the same manufacturer. It's just really through time, having your manufacturer understand your preferences, your sizing, really your sizing. Like, sizing is the biggest part of Common Studios, I would say, is how everything is supposed to fit and how everything does fit. And so it kind of took time to develop in that area, and our washes, our colors, and just every little nitty gritty aspect in detail. So even if you compare the 2 recent samples, you guys can see the red stitching here. It was swapped for plum. We did a little bit of a cleaner hem at the bottom, whereas this one came almost a little bit already shattered. I want you as the wearer of the garment to be able to get it to this point and beyond on your own through how much you're wearing the piece, rather than us decide for you off rip how this is going to look. Because this will happen to this over time as you continue to wear it. And I feel like that's gonna change the character of each pant based on the person that's wearing it. Honestly, as you move left to right, or as for you guys right to left, you'll just kind of see how it changes and slightly develops. Like the rivets change into our rivets, the buttons change into our buttons, certain details with like the distressing, pocket size even. Like sometimes a garment will come and you can't even fit your hand in the pocket. And it's like, you would think it's common sense for the pocket to be a certain width, but no, you got to tell the manufacturer exactly how wide you want that pocket to be. And then that calls for another sample and another version of it that you need to see before you can officially approve it. Because in your head, you think you can trust them to just do it. Unfortunately, that's not the case. You have to be very on top of it. And that's where Vinny comes in, because he's the one sending out the tech packs, being with the specifics of our measurements and our patterns and things of that nature. And it's just an entire process. And it's on us to stay on top of it, because from the manufacturer's perspective, they have all different types of clients and they're just way more unorganized than you would expect. So you get this process where it's just sample after sample, 30 to 60 days, 30 to 60 days, 30 to 60 days, 30 to 60 days, another 30 to 60 days, and then it's like you look back and you're 7 months deep and you're still not at your final product. The main goal for most of our denim obviously is the quality and everything to look nice, but our main feature, our main focus is gonna be our fitment. And even with some of our earlier samples, we're trying to find the balance of a pant that you can wear really in any situation or most situations. And when it comes to other styles of pants, like this sample that we had, for example, where it's obviously very wide, very baggy, very exaggerated, almost cartoonish to a point. I think there's a time and place for things that fit like this, but in most situations, you can't really get away with wearing this all the time or really being a staple piece. If you look at everything behind me on this wall, so many of these are just simple, basic pieces that you can wear and interchange with all the other pieces, you know? I could put 15 outfits together with just the stuff that's hanging on this wall just by styling it properly, but if you have these pieces that can last a lifetime and almost be those solid foundational pieces, that's the goal for Commons. And having looked back at everything that we've dropped, I think we can style what we're making now with everything we made in the past and style things that we're making now with things that we're working on for the future. So the goal is for everything to just kind of blend together, kind of like live in harmony and be able to be wearable on all aspects. So as you guys will see by like the on bodies that I'm throwing over the screen, how everything fits, it fits really well for a reason. It's because it was very intentional and it wasn't by accident that all this stuff came out looking this good. But we'll go through some of the details of the black pant as well. We also decided to throw in some hidden details, a lot of things that you guys may not see by wearing the piece, but just other intentional aspects of the pieces we wanted to throw in. So you guys see that plum stitching on the inside lining. We also did screen print on all the inside pockets with our saying we all have something in common. So it's a cool little Easter egg on all of our pairs. Woven labels with size tags. We're not doing small through XL, we're doing waist sizing. So 30 through 38, Vinny?
40.
30 through 40?
We did 40s, but there's only like a few of them. We didn't do very many.
This is the black wash. I went against a full jet black just because the wash on the other one came out so good. We want to do a slight wash on this one. This was a one and done sample. They nailed it. They know what we want now, and it helps having a relationship with your manufacturer where they can understand through time what you're expecting and make certain calls on their own without it having to be a longer, basically extending the process for an unnecessary reason. So we have the plum tag on the back. That's why you're going to find the plum stitching. If you've ever bought something from Commons, you guys know our plum, I don't have one over here, but our bags that everything comes in, we have our plum poly bags. So we try to keep that theme going throughout all the pieces. So yeah, same idea with the black pair. We just didn't have to sample as many of these just because the only difference between this and the pair I just showed you is the wash. I would like to note we filmed a 36-minute version of the same video 10 minutes ago and the camera died and none of the footage saved. So if I'm being repetitive, it's because we just filmed this whole video and I don't remember what I said in this one versus the other one. Moving on to this pair, I'm actually really proud of how this pair came out simply because this was one that I kind of just was sketching on the iPad one day and messing around with like different pocket shapes, and we ended up sampling this one. I don't know what Vinny told the manufacturer, but whatever he said, bro was speaking his Chinese that day because they smashed these. Now it's funny though because the back pockets of these were, well obviously it's a kind of untraditional cut for a back pocket. It looked really cool on the iPad, so I'm like, okay, let's just submit a sample and see what happens. And it came out sick. They are practical, they do hold the stuff, but it's funny because they kind of look like front pockets in a way. And so when I tried them on when they came in, I tried them on backwards just to see how it looked. And because we've perfected the fit of everything so much, we spent so much time, especially like in the crotch area and how far it dips down and where it begins to, like the front rise begins and comes upward. The fit around the crotch area is so uniform now that I could literally put these on backwards and wear them backwards, and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference because the back rise and front rise are literally sitting in the perfect spot now, which is 2 of those samples were just back and forth between the front and back rise and just fixing how everything fits in this area as well as in the hip area, which for denim, shorts, any of that is a really important aspect of how a garment's gonna fit. So I thought these came out really sick. These have our thick rivets as well. On the front, they look really good in that silver. Same Commons jean button on the top. This is in a heavy canvas. You guys can see by the on bodies, these fit really well. And these will be a pair that you guys see probably later this year. And I've worn these out and about. I've worn these actually a lot so far, and they've gotten a lot of compliments, which for a pant this simple, to get as many compliments as it has, just really lets me know that 1, they fit really well, because that's like the main thing. People are like, where'd you get those pants? They fit crazy. And then once they see the details as I start to show them off, it just adds a little bit more value to the pants. So don't know if we'll run these outside of a color of black, but we'll definitely see these in black at some point. And I feel like this is gonna be a staple for the collections as well. Moving into these t-shirts, I'm not gonna take them off the wall. You guys will see the on bodies. The main thing with the t-shirts is honestly just how they fit. These are also not the only graphic t-shirts that we're working on. We have, I don't know, somewhere closer to 10 than anything graphic t-shirts kind of in the works right now. These are just the 2 samples that I was happy with enough to hang up. We kind of inspired these off of the old Apple t-shirts. Just went with the simple Commons vibe. Both of them are different, so the colorways are different. Like that S over there is orange, this S is purple. So they're slightly inverse, they are a little different. The blank that we put these on, we have been developing for the last like 6 months. The one I'm wearing right now is a version of it. So we have this cut coming out in a blank white, a blank black, and then the cut that I'm wearing right now will have a gray washed version that has the double star sewn into the back panel, which you guys have seen in our Co-Star flannel, as well as the Co-Star hoodie. And we have another version of it up there. The one I'm wearing right now is the single stitch version. So we took kind of inspo from all of our old favorite vintage t-shirts. So the one that's hanging up there was the first version. And then when we switched it to single stitch is the one I'm wearing right now. Focus on these though is a more fitted but relaxed boxy shirt. So we ended up shrinking the sleeves down. Most sleeves are gonna come just down further. We didn't want it to hang too low. So we try to have a more fitted upper around the chest, the back, the shoulder area, a nice drop, but still have a little bit more room and flowiness. Keep it a little bit more boxy on the bottom half, which honestly is like, it's my go-to for how I like my shirts to fit. And so that's what we kind of referenced it from. So it's weird, like we didn't even go through our specialized t-shirt manufacturer for the shirt because we found a different manufacturer that just made it better and that we know we can trust with intricate patterns. Sometimes there are manufacturers that can do a sample really well, but when it comes to production and you being able to trust your manufacturer with not only doing it one time, but hundreds of times, that's kind of where it gets tricky. And you kind of just learn that through experience, as we've had a lot of pieces come in before that we just can't get through, which was a lot of the problem with the denim. And as we get to the top, we'll kind of get through some of the shorts and stuff, but a couple graphic tees. I also have, like I mentioned, the blank whites, the blank blacks. I didn't bring them here today, but yeah, essentially, if you want the reference for those, it's gonna be the one that I'm wearing right now. Moving on to these 2 denim jackets, we took inspo from old Japanese sashiko stitch jackets. We were able to make and manufacture these after testing, I don't know, how many versions of this did we make? This is the first version from the new manufacturer, but before that there were what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, honestly, we made like 5 different samples because the first one we did super distressed and we didn't really like how it came out. For a piece like that, we feel like it just kind of needs to be very put together and like non-distressed. So
a little cleaner.
That was the first one. The second one, we had to fix the collar. The third one, the sizing, we cropped it a little bit more and brought it in on the side.
Yeah, so if you guys see these little pleats right here, this is intentional for the actual way that it fits around the waist. So this didn't used to be here. The waist fell wider. And so when you had it zipped up, you just had this weird like balloon effect around the jacket, and it really changed how it fit. It sat in the right place as far as how long it was. I felt like it fit the cropped area nicely, but it just didn't fit it didn't hug the waist how it was supposed to. And so this is a medium. And I really, really like this piece because they fit light. So it's like a median between a flannel and an actual jacket. It is thicker than a flannel, obviously, because it's denim. It's not a super heavy denim jacket. So you can layer it easily, and you can also get more wear out of it year round. So as you can see, there's just not like a extended puff like there used to be. It just sits exactly where it's supposed to be. The sleeve length is honestly perfect. I'm in a medium right now. It's funny because our manufacturer was like, are you sure you want this super kind of exaggerated collar? There's just something about smaller collars over time. I don't know, they just get up faster, to keep it simple. Like, they don't hold their shape as well. So something with like a bigger, more exaggerated collar, I just feel like will hold up better over time. Adds a little bit of punch to it because it does have the stitching literally top to bottom, inside and out on this piece. And then we have custom buttons as well, 2 on the wrist and then 2 on the back. So you could obviously adjust these if you want it to be even more tight around the waist. You can easily just adjust it, or you could just leave it completely loose, doesn't really matter. My goal would be to retail these under 200. Like, if you're spending any amount of money on a product, you want the best quality product you can get for that price. And I feel like that's where we strive and where we're really gonna find success for the brand this year, especially with most of these pieces. I feel like that will definitely show with time, and I think you guys are really gonna love that product. We'll just touch on the shorts. I don't know if you guys have been watching my videos for longer than the one you're watching right now, but for those who have been watching since like last summer or seen any of my styling videos from last year, you guys know we essentially had to start from ground zero, 8 months in with a different manufacturer. And we spent the last 8 months with this manufacturer redeveloping. Lesson-wise, we've learned a lot. Patience-wise, we've gained a lot of it. Ultimately, I think it was a blessing in disguise. We've came upon a better product because of it. We were really able to fine-tune all the things that we didn't really have time to fine-tune in the last version of these. And I want to take this production sample, the same short that we got from our original manufacturer, and just quickly compare it to what we're looking at now today versus what we almost dropped at a certain point, just to kind of show why this was a blessing in disguise and why it is a virtue to be able to be patient and understand, like, when you have a certain goal for a product or a certain expectation for quality and the standard that we set for ourselves, we just didn't want to go backwards from where we were trying to be. And I know there's a certain aspect of it where sometimes I feel like I could be holding us back by not it's like, yeah, you are settling. Like, we could have dropped this as an early brand. It's like, you get better with time. Like, it doesn't need to be perfect off the bat. But at the same time, I know what we're capable of. And if I know we're capable of more at the time than we have at the time, I'm gonna push for what I think we can do better at. And so these shorts are just an example of that, the perfect example of that. This was our TOP with our old manufacturer. This is our top of production. This is essentially what our customer would have gotten if we accepted the units of these. Over 500 units of these shorts came in between the 3 colors. It was really more like 800, but 800 units came and we could not sell any of them. And I'll quickly show you why, because in my head and in my understanding of where we were at the time, this is what the quality, the cut, everything about this short is what I was expecting from this short. And just looking at them side by side, you can see the extreme difference. I'll quickly go through some of them and just kind of how we ended up here with this one. I mean, everything on this. The fit was like the main thing that was just not accurate to samples. And the problem with sampling is when a product goes into a sample room, they're being worked on kind of one-on-one, right? And when you get into production, it's like 15 different people are touching it. Your samples are always probably gonna look a little bit better than what your mass-produced items are gonna look like, but there cannot be so much variability between the two that you get a completely different product. And that's essentially what happened with our last manufacturer. And they honestly kind of had to cut ties with us more than we cut ties with them. They came to us and said, we can't provide you the quality that you're expecting. Like your attention to craftsmanship, like we can't sustain it, unfortunately, which is to hear 8 months into the process, but it's like, what can you really do? So we pivoted, we moved, we found someone that understands our quality expectations, understands the craftsmanship that we're expecting, and understands overall what we are as a brand, who we are as a brand, and the product that we're trying to provide for our customers. So that's kind of the main difference here. You can see it in the details. Chris, if you zoom in on even something as little as the stitching going on, this is a lot tighter of a stitching. I'm so detail oriented, I stare at these all day, every day. I'm going to notice the slightest little difference. And that was one where it's just like, it's just unacceptable, to be honest, and we didn't accept it. The color of the thread was different. The leg opening size is shorter. These just fit like an H&M short, and this fits like a well-intended, thoughtfully executed pant that we started from scratch. And it's like those differences really make a big difference. So I won't even really talk too much more about these. I'm just using these for the comparison aspect of where we started with and where we are now. Luckily now I can talk about 3 great products that are seemingly perfect in my eyes, and I'm confident saying that they're perfect because I literally have been messing around with these for the last 16 months and developing, making changes, making adjustments, and just simply perfecting all of these pieces through time. Main thing on these is gonna be obviously how they fit, but same details you're gonna see in all of them. The plum stitching, the screen print on the inside of the pocket, the reversed or misplaced back pocket, the bar tab on all of them, all of our custom hardware, buttons, same D-ring, these washes. I'm really a big fan of this light blue wash. We're calling this the iceberg. We have the charcoal colorway, which is a pretty intricate wash in itself. All of these will be unique. No 2 pairs of this specific wash are gonna look the same, because as you guys can see around the hems, seams, and other darker areas, the wash kind of creates its own characteristics, which is a really, really cool aspect of these. And then we have our vintage gold colorway, which is a similar version. I'm actually wearing a sample version of a star pant right now, and that's gonna be in the same colorway as the vintage gold. So I'm a really big fan of this wash as well. Thought they executed this really great. The only thing that was wrong with these samples that I made note of them to make sure that they didn't blow when they did the final production is the stitch line on the back. So you have our woven label right there, and they stitched that in the very last thing. And so that's gonna mess with obviously the embroidery on the back M's. So it's a very simple adjustment for them to make. Literally the only thing wrong with them though, as you guys can see on the on bodies, they fit seemingly perfect. And yeah, that is not by accident. So just wanted to go through some of these samples today. There's obviously plenty more. I even have some hats right here which we're waiting on our 3rd version sample right now. But I mean, I can compare the first 2 with you guys. This one was the first one. We wanted like a flatter 5 panel. This one came structured, so we immediately had to change essentially just the shape of the hat. We also did a embroidery on the underbrim with a plum underbrim, as well as plum interior lining, which is all gonna be custom branded once our trims come in. And then we added this mesh panel in the front. Moved that to the next sample, which came with the unstructured brim, which I'm a bigger fan of, and that's really what this kind of helps with on the inside, is to keep that upwards. But the difference, I'm wearing the other one right now, so you guys can see it's still structured, it's just not as structured. And it's like a more true 5 panel. The only differences on this one other than that is just gonna be we changed the size of the text as well as the boldness of it. So we did lowercase here, we ended up just doing it in bold here. I honestly don't mind either. I'm indifferent about it. And then we did all metal hardware on the holes at the top, and then our star button on the top as well. 3 different colorways in this one. So we got this green colorway as well. We're gonna change this to a slightly darker green. We're also gonna shrink the brim a little bit. I feel like this brim is a little bit wide. And it's just like, it's longer and wider, and it just needs to be, I think, a little bit more fitted to the size of the hat. So that's the main last adjustment that we're waiting on. So our next batch of samples will come with this darker green that we're changing. We're gonna keep the blue the same. It's supposed to be a little bit more of like a darker navy blue, but I actually really like the way that this color looks. It is still a navy, but it's a little bit more on the royal side than like on a darker navy side. It's just nice silver accents like you guys are gonna see kind of splattered throughout most of our other stuff. Just wanted to keep that same uniform look. And then last pair of shorts to go over. These are our camo cargo shorts. This is on a ripstop canvas, and I actually have the other first version samples of these. Ignore the pattern of these because this is all that this manufacturer at the time had on hand. This pair was actually made by a different manufacturer that we started working with that has really executed some great pieces for us. That I think I have like 7 or 8 samples from this manufacturer that aren't even in this video, just because they're gonna be like later drops that I don't really want to show off yet. All this stuff is like getting made right now, so I feel more confident talking about it. But we'll keep you in the loop with the other stuff as time goes on. Just a simple cargo short. We did some extra hidden pockets in the front here. So you have like your main pocket, and then you have this extra like hidden pocket in the front. Double cargo pockets on the side. My favorite feature of these is gonna be the double jean button on the front, which is visible too. Usually if you have a double button, one of them is hidden. So this one would be hidden back here, and then you would have this one locked in here. But we decided to expose both of them. I just think the look is really good. Have the double belt loop as well with the D-ring. And so this was the first version. The canvas and the ripstop just itself wasn't thick enough. It just kind of feels like a swim trunk almost, whereas we wanted an actual cargo feeling cargo. Problem with this sample, as you guys can see, like I said, you would assume that a manufacturer would make a pocket big enough to put your hand in it, but apparently that's just not standard, so we have to tell them to do that. So this needs to be adjusted. We're also going to widen and deepen this one a little bit, but the same hidden pockets here, and then this manufacturer doesn't have our trims yet, but when our trims get to them, they'll have our custom buttons as well. On the back, we have that same embroidery hit, which I really just want to find a nice balance of doing the Commons embroidery on the waistband as well as the plum patch. So we'll kind of go back and forth between different pant products, which one we decide to use, but most of them will probably have one or the other, and then just two simple back pockets. So we'll run these end of this year in this camo, as well as probably a black, and then if you guys have any other suggestions and colors you'd want to see in the cargo short, you guys can let us know. But another pair that has been sampled for a while, I think we got the sample over a year ago, and since then we've just been trying to find the right manufacturer to do it the way that we want it done. So quick look at 13 of my favorite samples that we looked at. The 13th one is that shirt up there, but again, we already kind of talked about the one I'm wearing. Let me know what you guys think of all these pieces down in the comments. I think we're gonna probably drop these pants before anything. These will be either at the end of this month, if not the beginning of June. So you guys will see these very soon, followed by the shorts, followed by the shirts. Just a busy year of drops after that. So appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys want any more updates on all the stuff behind me, at Common Studios on Instagram. That's all I got. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.